I've not weighed in on this ongoing NFLPA leadership cluster bleep because it's a cluster bleep and nobody looks good, least of all the NFLPA. In fact, the players actually look terrible because they look dopey and they look lost and they look like they got worked and swindled by the now former NFLPA Executive Director Lloyd Howell. Now, he resigned that post last week, but somehow not without pushback from the players, which just shows how drunk they were on the Kool-Aid, how smashed they were off that snake oil. It's not a good look at all. Not a good look at all for that union. That said, not exactly a shocker that the NFLPA is not an especially strong or effective union. That's not exactly breaking news. Look at the NFL contracts versus the contracts for essentially every other sport in the world. Never mind the fact that football is one of the most dangerous sports with the shortest average career lifespan. These dudes don't get fully guaranteed contracts. They also have seemingly no ability to stop the owners from doing whatever the hell they want, whenever the hell they want. The owners do pretty much anything and everything they want to do, including adding games, international travel. I mean, essentially whatever the hell they want. So the idea was you bring in Lloyd Howell. You bring in Lloyd Howell because that's the guy who's going to change all this, which is why he was elected in what is now a controversial hiring process for pretty obvious reasons. The process resulted in the hire of a very problematic dude on multiple levels. And not just what we've since found out that he's done since he got that gig, but what we knew he was accused of before he got that gig. So they picked this guy even though they knew he resigned from his previous job at the consulting company Booz Allen after a whistleblower accused him and the firm of overbilling the federal government hundreds of millions of dollars. But apparently that red flag was just not red enough. That was a red flag! So then the PA was also aware that Howell had been sued for sexual discrimination and retaliation in 2011 and settled for an undisclosed amount in 2015. Apparently that red flag also was not red enough because apparently the players loved his pitch. And his pitch was essentially to try to be cooperative with the owners instead of being a, quote, thorn in the side, end of quote, of ownership, which to me is a very strange pitch. Why would you be excited about that pitch when, in theory, you're trying to hire a bulldog who's going to go fight against some of the richest, greediest, most powerful people in the country on your behalf who have been bullying you for decades and pushing you around? Wouldn't you want somebody to stand up to them? But that's just me. Obviously, the union thought otherwise because they ate that bleep up. And then the players got exactly what they wanted in the end, because in the end, it turns out that Hal was more interested in cooperating with the owners than fighting for the people who hired him. That was one of the big revelations that dropped last week, thanks in part to a report from Pablo Torre, that an NFL arbitrator ruled that the league's management council, encouraged by Roger Goodell, urged the owners to reduce guaranteed money in veterans' contracts. The NFL arbitrator made that ruling. It's just that Howell never bothered to tell the union about that ruling. And why is that? Because incredibly, he struck a confidentiality agreement with the league to hide the details from his own union. Dude, who do you work for? The owners or the players? And if that sounds bad, it's because that is bad. It's the opposite of what that job is supposed to be. Siding with the owners against the union when you're the head of the union is about as bad as it gets. And hiding things from your constituents because of a confidentiality agreement with the owners? But that wasn't the only revelation that came to light last week. There was also, and you clones, I know you clones don't like all of that because, that's academic. That's pretty straight. You'll like this. Here's the good stuff, clones. There was also the so-called script club revelation, a.k.a. the discovery that Howell would charge his trips to the script club to the union.
Club.
There are multiple documented incidents in multiple cities of this dude charging his script club tab to the union. Bro, go to your script club. Do what you want on your own time. Use your own credit card. You're charging this back to the union? Like a business expense? You getting your freak on? Man, that is so stupid and so sloppy and so reckless and so arrogant that it's almost impossible to believe. I mean, I wonder what kind of negotiations are going on there. Probably does his best work there. Anyway, despite all that, even after all that, even after the players found out all of that, when Howell knew he had to resign, he had to. They tried to talk him out of it. They're like, no, why? Don't go. No, why? You didn't do anything wrong. The actual response to Howell's attempt to resign was as quoted by ESPN. Quote, no, you're effing not. End of quote. My actual quote to that is, yes, he effing is. And if that's not insane enough, then they argued with the dude for 3 hours, begging him not to resign. And I just can't figure out what the hell any of them were thinking. Why? When you find out all of this, why are you begging this guy to stay? ESPN quoted an executive committee member as saying, quote, we felt great about the process. We back Lloyd 100%.
Just the process?
You do? Why? And why? Believe me, he didn't back you even 1%. Why are you backing him 100%? How can any of you feel good about any of this? The dude wasn't even showing up to do the job in the first place. According to ESPN, quote, multiple union employees talked openly about how little they had seen Howell in the office, sometimes only 2 or 3 days in a month, and that he often didn't respond to calls and texts as pressing matters loomed. Well, define pressing matters. His pressing matters were in the script club. Yours were what?
Script club.
Negotiations? I don't know, man. If you talk to Lloyd, unless they're script club matters, they're probably not pressing matters, not to him. Yet as late as last week, players still felt good about that hire. Still back that dude 100%. Somebody make that make sense. And then there's this. I bet they wanted to extend him when they found out about this. I bet they wanted to roll his contract over another 5 years when they found out about this. Clones, here's your favorite part. The next revelation. Wait for it, Oj revelation. Yes, because somehow in all of this, there is an Oj revelation. And it has everything to do with Lloyd Howell's parking spot. Howell ordered the union facilities department to merge 2 spaces in the parking garage so he could avoid door dings on his Porsche Cayenne Turbo. Pretty nice rig. I can imagine being obnoxious enough to do that. I mean, this guy, I don't know why he didn't just double park and just park diagonally like D-bags do. But no, they want him, or he wanted them, to make it a double spot. The number of the 2 spaces, parking spot 10, parking spot 11. Guess what number he wanted to change those to? I don't know, add them up. It's 2 spots, 21. Number 32. And why is that? As an homage to the jersey worn by one Orenthal J. Simpson. That, according to Craig Jones, the union's longtime director of security. A second source familiar with that matter confirmed the Simpson inspiration. Jones said, quote, I don't know why, OJ. Everyone has their preferences, perhaps, end quote. This dude numbered his combined parking spots, 32, to pay homage to Oj. Everybody has their preferences, except most people's preferences do not include honoring double murderers. I mean, what was this
hypothetical
dude? A clone? Was there anything redeeming about this guy at all? How the hell could he get a job like that in the first place? How could the NFLPA feel good about hiring this dude and then fight like hell not to let him resign? Even this quote in the ESPN article today from a senior union executive blows me away. Quote, Lloyd is a good man. He's not a villain. If he was guilty of anything, he was not as discerning as he should have been. End of quote. No, if he was guilty of anything, it was probably everything. Starting with deceiving the union about an arbitration ruling and siding with the owners, that. If he was guilty of anything, it was not showing up for work, that. If he was guilty of anything, it was running up the tab at the script club and charging it back to the union, that. If he was guilty of anything, it was turning the parking space of the executive director of the NFL Players Association into a freaking O.J. Simpson shrine. That. The hell are we even doing here? Union?
What are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? Like,
Get your bleep together.
what are we doing?
At this rate, forget an 18-game season. Y'all are going to be playing 32 games in 47 countries with no bye weeks, no guaranteed contracts, and no health insurance. I mean, at least some players can get a laugh out of how absurd this whole thing is, like the Kelsey bros did on their New Heights podcast. Check out these two mercilessly clowning Lloyd Howell.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. If they actually got work done.
So bogus.
I mean, what if they had like laptops out and like we're like crunching numbers at the table?
They were
Just
crunching numbers. They were crunching numbers, and in between the numbers, they were going over to the ATM.
Excuse me, could you put this up on the display? Bambi, if you could please move to the side. I just want to show that guaranteed contracts is a potential for the future of the NFL. Bambi, lower, Bambi, lower. All right. You can see right here from my graph that if we just hold out for 2 to 3 weeks, that's X amount of money that the NFL is going to incur in expense. Baby, move your I'm trying to show my graph.
Man, is there anybody anywhere who thinks anybody is as funny as Trav thinks his brother is? Anyway, it is hilarious.
Have I gone too far with this?
Man, Trav thinks that Jason's funnier than Steve thinks Jarrah is. The whole thing is hilarious to me. But I'm not in the union. Doesn't impact me in any way. Easy for me to laugh at. Doesn't impact me at all. I don't think I'd be laughing like that, though, if I were a member of that union. Then again, this whole situation is so absurd, all you can do is laugh, right? And try not to repeat all these mistakes all over again, which was basically what Kermit's message was last week. Patrick Mahomes to the rescue. Mahomes? Kerm reportedly zoomed into an emergency NFLPA meeting last Friday night and provided the following great advice. Quote, first he said, I'm here.
I'm here.
Oh, hey, Kerm.
I'm here.
Can you hear me? I'm here.
I'm here.
Then he said, here's his
I'm
advice. After he said, I'm here.
I'm here.
The advice was, quote, We need to get our choice for leader right. End of quote. Good take, Herm.
I'm here.
I think I'm here was a better take.
I'm here.
No kidding, Kerm.
I'm here.
Or at the very least, don't
I'm
pick the
here.
worst candidate ever and then show incredible loyalty, even though he showed no loyalty to you whatsoever.
I'm here. I'm here.
And showed more loyalty and more respect to a dead double murderer than any of the living that he was hired to represent. One of the reasons I had not waded into that was it was going to take me that long to wade into that. And there's even more. But Clones, I knew you could appreciate somebody that was baggy enough to say, you know what? I need 2 parking spots. Merge them together and then hang a number 32 over it in honor of Oj.